Hello everyone, how you doing? Is our week? The throat is getting better, so thanks for your concern, everybody, earlier on in the watch along. I'm joined by Mr. Mulliner to my left and Mr. Phillips to me right. This is scoring the players after Newcastle went down to another defeat shock. 6 games now in a row. There's one more video to come after this, which is me live with you at about 6:30 with the last word, and that's a wrap. Let's crack on. Let's jump straight to it. Sam, you've got the goalkeeper, Karl Darlow.
Bit of a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. What could he do anything about their 2 goals? Certainly wasn't his fault. There was other players to look at. Did he make any spectacular saves? No. Was he required to? No.
Did a 1-on-1 again. I think was it Vardy?
Yeah, he was offside, wasn't it? Yeah, there was a few times like that. We stepped up just in time, and Vardy got caught off quite a few times. Vardy was actually quite quiet. We kept him quiet. It was just the frickin' midfield that was the issue. But we'll come on to that. Yeah, I'm giving Darlow a 7. Steady Eddie, just above average. He was absolutely fine. Played no issues, no dramas. Goals weren't his fault, but yeah, steady 7.
Okay, I've got DeAndre Yedlin. Nowhere near as good as what he was against Liverpool. Granted, he'd done a fabulous cross. We were all like, wait a minute, is that DeAndre Yedlin crossing? It was anybody on the end of it, because I think it was Callum Wilson who laid him off, I think. And that was quite similar to Matty's low ball and Jonjo's low ball. Callum wasn't in around that 6-yard box, and that's where normally he credits. But yeah, he wasn't nowhere near as good getting up and down that byline. I'm going to score him slap bang down the middle. Average performance of 5 today for Mr. DeAndre Yedlin, who looks like he's grabbed the right wing back position his own. Will Bruce change it? Well, for next week in the FA Cup, we'll have to see. But yeah,
I think he's still being a bit generous there. There was a lot to be frustrated with him about. I know he did his first good cross for about 2.5 years. I think I said on the quick thoughts, I think that was his first good cross since he crossed for Hosselu in the 2-1 home defeat against Chelsea 2 seasons ago now. And no one was there to meet it, which is a shame, but he was so quick. But
I think you're being generous on Darlow as well, except from the 2 goals, didn't you?
Yeah, they weren't his faults.
I don't know. I wouldn't have scored Darlow that high. I'd probably give Darlow 5, but
really?
Yeah, because he didn't have an day. Didn't have a great game. Didn't have much to do.
He didn't have a bad game, did he?
We're not going to disagree with right backs. I'm not Mr. Greenwood. He's currently
yeah. It's always right back, isn't it? Just goes to show how naff our right backs are.
He's currently he's currently taking orders at work, so we'll move on from that. Adam, you're going to Fabian Schar.
It's a frustrating one for the defence because they could have done, their 2 goals. They had a lot of time, who I'm going to put down to other players rather than the defence. I thought they dealt with Vardy, who's obviously the main threat, quite well. The 3 of them, Clark, Fernandez, and Schar. Schar played a cracking ball out wide for one chance we had. Yeah. So I'm going to give him a 6. I'm not going to go too high because he wasn't outstanding. But I thought he was. I just want to see a bit more of the Liverpool Schar than I do tonight's Schar. Was he at fault for anything? Probably not. They probably could have got a bit tighter for the goals, but I think that comes down to midfield as we'll go on to. He's starting to get a bit better than he has been this season. So 6 out of 10 for me. 6
for the Swiss. We're on a roll. Let's move on to Federico Fernandez. Sam.
He was okay. I was a bit.
Nobody got me jokes. Swiss roll.
Shame I know. No, I got it. I just purposely ignored it. Yeah, no, it fully registered, but yeah, I just chose to ignore it. Why was Fernandez taking throw-ins?
So was Clark.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that in the second half.
Yeah, but we switched to 4 at the back, and he was still taking throw-ins.
Who does that come down to?
I don't know, but that's weird. Well, it's bizarre, but there you go. He was fine. Defence coped well with Vardy, as we've said. he was up there to support Yedlin. But, I mean, Fernandez is a better crosser than Yedlin, but even his deliveries today weren't overly amazing. But he's a centre-back. He shouldn't be anyway. I'm giving him a 6 as well. The centre-backs were the least of our issues today, really. But we've come to expect that. Steady, solid Federico Fernandez, no frills. He was fine.
Yeah, you can't really point any of the goals at the defenders because it all was cut back, wasn't it? And I've got the other one, Ciaran Clark, very similar to what you just said. Sam, Ciaran Clark was pushed right up trying to take throw-ins as well. Maybe it's just to free up the midfield.
Yeah, but Clark switched to left back when we went. So I could see that, but
you're still doing it at centre back. You're still doing it at centre back, but again, can't really fault him. If he's all scoring the 6, I think none of the centre backs outdo each other, so I'll go the same. So Ciaran Clark also gets a 6 from me. Let us know if you agree, disagree with any of our ratings. We'll have a look at your comments towards the end of the video.
100th appearance for Clark today, so he's been fantastic.
Should have more.
Yeah, he should have, and he's got a better goals per game ratio than Joelinton.
Is that 1 in 10? It's about 1 in 10, isn't it?
1 in just under. I think Clark's about 1 in 9, and I think Joelinton's about 1 in 9.5, something like that.
Mental that. Adam, you've got the left wing back, Matt Ritchie.
Bit disappointing today, to be honest. Don't think he was at his best. A lot of pointing, a lot of shouting, a lot of frustration. I like when he gets the ball and gets quick crosses in, which I remember him doing once. What did we give Yedlin? 5.
I'll give him a 5.
Oh, I can't go lower than Yedlin. I'll give him a 5 as well. Not his best game for me today. He's starting to look a frustrated player. He's starting to look very frustrated in this setup. I prefer him on the wing. I just prefer him a bit more up front.
18 months to a year ago, you would point Ritchie as your key player.
Yeah.
Now
he's going backwards.
He's his squad player, isn't he?
He is. He's going backwards, mate. You hit the nail on the head. He can play a left back and he can play a left wing. As you say, 18 months ago, he was the first name on the team sheet for his effort. But I don't know. Does it come down to the manager? I think he's looking frustrated. I think he's one of these players who's looking frustrated playing under this management structure. As others are, he doesn't look happy for me.
Yeah, there's probably plenty. So that's your full backs, that's your wing backs, your goalkeeper. Now we'll move into the centre midfield, and it looks like Sam, you have the first one. I'll give you Sean.
Sean. First, right, okay. Let's break it down. First 10 minutes, he was absolutely rubbish. Didn't get the pace of the game because it started quite frantically, I think you'll recall. All over the place. Settled down a bit, did okay. Then midfield was completely overrun. They're not the paciest in all of the players that could play in our centre midfield. Then they're not the quickest. They're always going to have problems in there, which is one of the arguments against 5 at the back to play against Leicester, because down that centre, Leicester have Ndidi sitting in front of the back 4. Then above then you got Tielemens, Maddison, Barnes. That's proper quality against Matty, who's played 3 games in a week, and Sean, who was a bit all over the place, wasn't he? They were overrun, outgunned, outclassed.
Both of them had fallen for Harvey Barnes bursting through for the first goal and gets pulled back, because one of them has to take a yellow card at least, and the other one has to mark Maddison. Yeah, they're at fault for the first goal, 100%. Second goal was Jonjo. But is that down to the system Bruce played? Would a 4-2-3-1 have been more effective? Were we missing Isaac Hayden? Absolutely. In terms of a rating, I am stalling on purpose because I'm toying between a 3 and a 4. I've got to be honest.
No, he was good. Sam, you're right. Sam, he was poor. His passing wasn't great. His positioning was some of the worst I've seen. No, you're completely justified in a lower mark like that.
We'll go 3.5. He wasn't completely. He has some excuses, but he was still poor. As you say, let's not get away from that. He did do a couple of nice passes out wide, but there we go. Ollie in the comment played a lovely ball over to Yedlin, but again, it's correct for me. It is clutching at straws, but I think they were kind of lambs to the slaughter in that midfield. The way Leicester set up as well today. The way Leicester set up, you kind of need an extra body in there, which we didn't have, and it told. Look at their goals.
Yeah, so Sean, obviously, big chance for him to come in because Matty's kind of jumped ahead of him. Hayden was obviously out as Sam touched upon for suspension, which we expect Hayden to come straight in. And then I've got Matty, so I don't think Matty was as bad. I just think he's marginally better. I'll go for Matty. Not as prominent, not as industrious, not as tenacious as he has been the last couple of games, but he has just played 3 games in a week, having not played at all, really, this season, regularly anyway.
Shouldn't have started tonight. The FA Cup game would have been a better game for him, but even though the FA Cup's next week, I think there'll be a few changes with the goalkeeper and little fringed players. I think that'll also be the same with Arsenal as well. But yeah, not as good as for Matty, but brilliant to see him have a run of games. Hopefully that does continue. And then we'll go to Miguel Almiron. Adam, it's all yours on the right wing. Well, I'll stick up for him in a way that he's out of position. I'm sick of saying it. I watched Sam's after-thought straight after the game, and I thought he hit it on the head, mate. He's wasting energy having to cut in it. He's wasting energy having to cut in every time. And we're sick of saying it. This doesn't come down to Miggy. Yes, he's well paid. He should be doing better. But he's playing out of position. If he wants to persist in playing wingers, at least play him on his favoured foot, or put him as a number 10 behind the centre forward. And he's not doing it. I thought there was a couple of times he started getting a good breakaway tonight, and Leicester did the sensible thing and brought him down, took a couple of yellow cards for him. Another one, he looks completely pissed off in playing in this team. I'll give him a 4. A part of that's not his fault though. But he does need to be better as well on the ball. He's looking very lightweight, but the formation is killing him, and it's probably killed him. He needs to get away from the club if this is what we're going to play, because his career is going to fizzle out. There's a player in there somewhere for me, but not under this manager. Yeah.
Just to expand on the point you referenced from my quick thoughts, if you're playing him on his incorrect side, where he's got to always cut in and play horizontal passes, you're completely negating his biggest asset, which is his pace. You've negated it straight away. You've neutralised his threat straight away, because he's just cut such a frustrating figure. Every time he receives the ball on his wrong foot, he's then got to cut inside, look for a horizontal pass. You've slowed the counter-attack game, and it's gone. They've got players back, and now you're stuck in the middle of the park with nowhere to go, which is why the ball always ends up back in the defence. It's so annoying and frustrating. I can't understand why he's still persisting with it on the right, and that comes down to the manager.
As my camera's decided to slant a little bit, I've slanted as well, so I'm sitting a little bit lower. But that was Miguel Almiron. Joelinton, who seems to be guaranteed to start almost every game over on that left-hand side, a little bit tucked in. I think he was slightly better than Miggy, but I don't think...
Really?
No.
Is he worse?
Yes.
Have a look at Matt's tweet when he put out. He was first for winning headers. He was first for holding on to the ball in the first half. There's a lot of things that he was winning, but...
Because that was his job.
Yeah, but what's Miggy's job? To keep passing the ball back.
Counter-attack.
No, he doesn't counter-attack. He passes the ball back.
Well, no, because he's on the wrong side of the pitch.
So that's down to the manager. I just think Joelinton's slightly better, but I don't think it's massive amounts. I just think it's only by half a point. So I'm going to go 4.5 for Joelinton. But let me know if you agree in the comments about Joelinton. But
I thought he was dreadful.
He was, but so was Miggy. Miggy was awful today. So were the Longstaffs. But we're here to be honest, and and I just think I've got a slant alleyway, dude. Yeah, I've just got to feel like in case my camera moves. But 4.5 for Joelinton. Sam, you can have the striker.
I don't think. I mean, I feel endlessly sorry for him, but even with that, I don't think it was his best game in a black and white shirt by any stretch of the imagination today. He had to come so deep to get the ball.
We touched upon early on, Sam. He had to pass the ball out wide a couple of times, and he can't just get back in that box.
Correct, and then there's no one in there to get on the end of crosses, and no one else was gambling. To go back to Ciaran Longstaff, when Matty put that lovely ball in, Ciaran should have been the one. He stopped his run. If he'd have carried on his run, he'd have been there at the back post challenging for the cross. Gambling. No one gambled. I said this on the Quick Thoughts as well. No one gambled, which was an argument why Gale should have been brought on sooner instead of Shelvey, perhaps. No one gambled. Same as on the end of Shelvey's cross. No one gambled. There was no one in there. No one taking a chance. In terms of Wilson, he never looked like scoring today. He never had a chance to really score. When the ball came to him in an attacking sense, his touch let him down the odd time. Almiron looked to play it through to him a couple of times, and it didn't beat the first man. So I did feel sorry for Wilson. I'm going to score him straight down the middle, because what else can you do, really? It was pretty poor all round in that attacking third, wasn't it? And Wilson will be coming off not being happy with his performance either, because he didn't score. And when they go over this game in training in the week, when they look at these balls that came in from Shelvey and Matty in particular, and no one's on the end of it, that's bread and butter for a striker like him.
A 5 out of 10 for Callum Wilson. I've got the first substitute, which was technically Jacob Murphy, because he was on for about 30 seconds before Jonjo. I think he's better. I would have started him ahead of Almiron on the right-hand side, not because he's a better player, just the right player for the right position. Right winger playing right wing. Hey, makes sense. He was a little bit indifferent. He burst past a couple of players. Dribbled a little bit too much for me, but
can he cross?
He can cross a ball, but is he the best on that right flank?
No. The person we're referencing are one of our co-presenters that will remain nameless. He knows. He knows what we're on about. Jacob Murphy can cross.
On that right flank, including with full backs and right wingers, he's probably one of the better ones, yeah. Because we don't have many on that right side, do we? Let's be honest.
No, unlucky to be dropped, I thought as well.
As he's not here, and his point, does Jacob Murphy do it enough, though? Or does he piss around too much on the ball?
For me, is that when he's challenged, he then goes out and performs. So if he's thrown in out of the blue, out of nowhere, he seems to have a good game. And then he might have almost as a good a game the next game, but then he's back to the bench for whatever reason. Maybe he's rotated, loss of form. But when he's challenged, he then rises to it. But because he wasn't challenged, he was better than Miggy, so I'm going to give him 5, straight down the middle. 5 out of 10, a little bit better than Miggy, a little bit better than Joelinton. But he didn't have no joy. Adam's got the delightful Jonjo Shelvey, who was rightly criticised for the second goal.
I'm going to start with a positive that he got in a position where he put a cross into the box where there was no one at. Wilson should have been there for whatever reason he wasn't. But for the second goal, and I'm not just talking about his tracking back, when you go back and watch it, I've only seen the replay, and I usually go back and watch the game after, which I will tomorrow. He backs out with a tackle, and that's unforgivable for me in a black and white top. In the middle of the park, as they're breaking forward, Shelvey has a chance to go and at least clatter someone, get a yellow card, do what Leicester did. Leicester took a couple of yellow cards today. Take a yellow card if you take when he doesn't. He fucks around and he jumps out the tackle, and they burst forward. And if you're going to back out the tackle, make sure you track him back, and he doesn't. He does not want to play for Newcastle United. He needs to move back down south where he's happy. Does he bring a lot to the team? Not anymore for me. Yes, he used to be the one, picks passes here and there. I've spoke about it a couple of times in the live reaction show and in the watch along and the reaction show there. We need a Johan Cabaye. We need someone who gets the ball and pings it, does it. Jonjo Shelvey's not that. His time at Newcastle's up for me. He gets a 4 out of 10, and I'm probably being generous because he really pissed me off today. Because he looks like the player he spat his dummy out because he's on the bench and he comes on and doesn't really want to play for it.
So Jonjo Shelvey gets a 4 out of 10 for not tracking Tielemens, who great finish, by the way. Fabulous finish.
Oh, great goal by Leicester's point of view, but
best player on the pitch he was today, Tielemens.
Yeah, which we thought was game over. We'll come obviously Carroll. Next, I think Carroll might get the highest score. I know Darlow's currently got a 7, which I disagree with. Sam, are you going to give Andy Carroll the man of the match because everyone else was shit?
For his 10 minutes work. Yeah, fuck it. Good finish. Good finish, wasn't it? Good finish.
Yeah. And he's the same.
Really.
As he throws on us.
Someone take a screenshot of that.
That comes on.
Oh, he's back. Is he back?
Happen. I'm back. Yeah, he makes stuff happen when he comes on. I saw briefly Bruce's post-match comments that he's been frustrated lately and not getting any game time. I mean, everyone would have been screaming at the telly going, why is he bringing Carroll on and not Gale? But he's made an impact substitution and he's done it. It was a great finish. About bloody time.
Yeah,
but,
he's got a great season,
it made the last 10 minutes interesting and it was nice to see us. Yeah, it's nice to see us just not wilt, and we did kind of still give it a go to a degree in the last 10 minutes.
That's the only positive from all the players is Andy Carroll scoring his first goal today. There's not any other positives for me whatsoever. So well done, Andy Carroll. It looks like you nicked man of the match for your 10 minutes cameo, but he'll be delighted personally just to get that monkey off his back. Stevie Bruce then, yeah, we'll go. We're going to agree to try and whittle it down. So we'll go left to right. So back to you, Sam.
Where to start? Carrying on playing Almiron in his incorrect position where he doesn't look comfortable. Stevie Wonder can see Almiron doesn't look comfortable out on the right-hand side. The right-back situation is just a fuck-up from start to finish, and it just never looks like ending. Persisting with Joelinton for 18 months. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a massive Isaac Hayden-shaped hole in our midfield. There was a massive Fraser and ASM-shaped holes on our wings. I can kind of understand I can understand the 5 at the back against Leicester are very.
I've got no idea what you're saying, but yeah, someone please do take a screenshot. Sorry, Sam, what was that?
No, I urge you, no taking fucking screenshots. It was just lackluster all round, wasn't it? And Bruce, just like the stat I said before, I mean, Joelinton's got a worse goal per games ratio than Ciaran freaking Clark.
What are you going to say?
4.
So for me, wing backs, I can see why he's playing wing backs because he got a great point at Liverpool. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I prefer a 4 at the back. Almiron on the right. Some people say that when you play Joelinton, it's like playing with 10 men. Well, it's like playing with 9 men. You've got both of them in the wrong positions. We don't even know what kind of player Joelinton is. Where does he play? Is he strike? Is he left? Is he right? Murphy should have started. Whether you think he's a better player or not, play your best players in your right positions. I'm not blaming Bruce for the goals. I think that's individual errors. I think that's poor. That's just Harvey Barnes just pacing both the Longstaffs, and then Shelvey's attitude. But then again, you might say, well, that's down to the manager to get the best out of that attitude. So it could work both ways. I like the substitutions were earlier. The Shelvey one and the Murphy one were earlier because he has been criticised. Carroll come off the bench, scored his goal, so there's a positive. But overall, today's performance, even the Sky pundits were taking the mickey at half-time, taking the piss out of her, laughing at her for the way the footballer is. Roy Keane and everybody. Roy Keane tells it like it is, whether you like him or not. He gives you honesty. 6 games now without a win. FA Cup, bit of a breather from the league, but then in Sheffield United, the big one. For us, it looks like it's a bigger game because we get beat. I think what will also be good as well, just to lift morale, maybe get a loan signing in or something. I'm not going to spend the money, but just some lift from the club. But since I've been blabbering on, I'll probably score with 3. So I'll go 3 today. There's a couple of positives, but the negatives outweigh it by quite a distance. All about you, Adam.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to give him marks on the positives, so I'm going to give him a 1 for picking a team, and I'm going to give him a 2 for putting Andy Carroll on and scoring a goal. So he gets a 2 for me. You have all mentioned all the negatives. I'm not going to keep ranting on about Bruce. We all know he gets a 2 for me, but yeah, absolutely. I'm not wasting any more breath talking about. You have mentioned Adam, what I had to say, what I would have said.
Are you all right, Adam? Do you want to cuddle?
Well, it's just I do, but you know what I mean. How many times have we got to see it all? Yes, Matty Longstaff been playing well, but he clearly needed it just to spell out the team today. It doesn't take a rocket science to see that. Yes, does Hendrick have to come in or do something like that? Which, yeah, it's not a popular decision, but fresh legs were needed today, and Matty wasn't ready today, and Matty got overrun. Joelinton, again, as you've mentioned, keeps playing and playing. Yeah, just not good enough.
Need Ryan Fraser back on that side, over on that left side. Quicker the better.
Yeah.
Because if you're not playing Almiron there, you're not playing Ritchie there, then Joelinton will play somehow. But let's have a look at what you're saying, Sam, because Sam's controlling the video today. In your comment.
Great point from John Bruce. I thought the referee was superb in terms of wanting to get involved today.
He had a better touch than Joelinton.
He did. He absolutely did. Absolutely superb control of the football. A lot better than Joelinton's first touch.
So the referee, what would you give the referee for his touch?
6.
First half, 10. He was in the game more than half of our team the first half.
Fair dues.
Hendrick give a chance of how poor Sean and Mickey have been. That's probably only another positive that Jeff Hendrick is not in that team. But having said that, though, our centre midfield is up for debate quite a lot, as like with the right wing back, with Joelinton as well. Even on the right hand side, there's 3 or 4 positions there where Newcastle could look to strengthen, even if they are loans. But the problem is bringing people in, you've got to shift 2 bodies out. So until that happens, I can't see bodies coming in until people leave. That is scoring the players. Thank you very much, Gregory, for your comment there, like goals. I'll be back at last 15 minutes. Join me for the last word. I'll fix the camera. We're all going to be done 2.5 hours after kickoff, which is mint, full time. So thank you very much, Sam Mulliner.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Phillips.
Pleasure. See you next week.
See you later, everyone. Ta-da.